ago, had agreed to the ceasefire after achieving its goal of removing Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile threats, in his words. So, in a sense, it's a natural development for the Israelis to agree to an end of the strikes?
Is that directed to me?
No,
we
should wait new surprises because Iran doesn't trust Israel. Israel doesn't trust Iran, and both, they don't trust Trump. So under these conditions, just the reality is this war is expensive for Israel more than Gaza or Hezbollah fights because protecting the air defense is millions of dollars every day. So they ask some sponsorship from GCC countries, and even the UAE, they condemned Israel's strikes. So it is not easy to survive the strikes and the war for Israel's side because it's really expensive, and they don't have the sponsorship now. The second issue from the Iran side, when we look, they demand revenge. So they have attacked and targeted US bases in Qatar and several areas. So at the end should be a diplomatic solution. If not, this will be a lose-lose war for Iran and for Israel. The issue is, it's like a balance game. They always win, they always lose. You remember the American ex-president Bill Clinton said, Netanyahu demands long war with Iran to keep his seat long.
Do you think now, after the ceasefire, following the ceasefire, the Iran and the US will continue, will resume their negotiation? How possible is that?
Trumpism will support only economical war. This will be new tariffs and sanctions on Iran. But the idea of Israel is pushing him on weapons and striking directly to change the regime. But the missiles cannot change if there is no land war. So Trump will not let any American soldier will go and die and come back with the American flag. This is not his style. But he has some solutions. He says, let's make Iran bigger again, great again. But this is something, a slogan, but can't be applied on the ground. This is a different issue because nobody trusts. 12 days ago, he says, we cannot do this because maybe a new Libya can be Iran. And then after 12 days, he sent two bombers and dropped the bombs on Iran. So we can expect anything from this administration. For example, tomorrow they can meet in Istanbul and they can talk about the new horizons for the region. But Israel policies will not let Trump be in good relations. So it was also a diplomatic way, but there is a sabotage before. This sabotage can be happen every time, and this ceasefire can end very badly with the economical earthquake in the world's economic system. Not only the Strait of Hormuz, but also the trade, the oil prices, everything is going up if this conflict ends in other way. So peace and stability, prosperity is the only solution. And if U.S. not deal with Iran, that will be terrible from their side.
And how do you look at this, let's say, post-conflict relationship, let's say, Iran, U.S., for Iran to develop nuclear weapons to protect itself or to deter the future attacks, either from Israelis or from the U.S.? Sorry, Khan, I mean, a lot of countries, as I said, have condemned the U.S. attacks, see that as a violation of international law. I mean, this, against this background, do you think the purpose of the principle of the UN Charter and international law, do they still matter into this world?
I think United Nations and international community lose all their power and soul in Bosnia and Gaza. There is not a powerful organization over these conflicts. We need really constructive efforts. So for the regional countries, but also like China, the big power like China, along with regional countries, can play a critical role in meditating conflicts. The issue we need the positioning very constructive. It is not a long time process. The effort should be directed for the peace. But international community is not ready because look at the Western media. They put Khamenei's photo with Saddam and
many thanks to our guests
Saddam and also Gaddafi's photos together.
On YouTube. Xu Jinduo, thanks for being with us. See you next time.